Before I begin the video, I want to give thanks and appreciation to my Heavenly Father because without Him, I wouldn't have the encouragement and perseverance to get up every day, and that's my belief and faith rest in. I love you very much, God, and I thank you for allowing every day. Hey, dudes and dudettes! I hope your day is going just as sublime as your face. Welcome to my channel, Girly Cinema, where I give my opinion and analysis on movies and TV shows, and I will be discussing feminine advice and lessons through film and TV and how it can ultimately help you in self-growth and self-improvement you can use in your daily life. Let's get cozy and grow together one girly scene at a time. In today's video, I will be talking about the house bunny. While opinions are more than welcome, however, there are boundaries within having opinions which can be harmful. Please keep it respectful, insightful, and tasteful in the comment section if you do decide to comment down below, and the world will continue to be a beautiful place for everybody. Now with that being said, let's unpack this video. The House Bunny was always a cute and funny comedy that was centered around girlhood and self-discovery that you can enjoy anytime you're feeling quirky and girly with a dash of offbeat humor involved. That's what always drew me to the movie, and I've seen it more than like 5 times, and it's always so fun to watch, and it's one of those binge-worthy movies to watch at a sleepover or when you're having a Galentine's Day with your friends. And the aesthetics of the Zeta's makeover done by Shelley helped what was like, I like to call it, original montage of Y2K makeover. In the movies that the entertainment industry needs to reinvest in to make girly movies with a message pop and feel alive again. That's the problem with movies now. They lack a general message and detailed scripting that they used to have where it ties appropriately with the visuals, and it sucks because now it's boring and no one likes taking accountability, and they wear insecurity like a personality and making it their armor to justify petty actions. So now movies just miss the plot entirely. It's just something to look at to take your mind off your circumstances and provide a quick mental escape or just another distraction so you won't feel the weight of what's happening around you in the world. Honestly, the last movie that really lit up theaters was just Wicked. It provided character depth, personality, and visual on an adaptation of the books it came from and the songs. And Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande's performances were awesome, verging on stellar. It's like no matter what, even when you aren't going through anything, you still cried because their acting was that compelling, and it's like we don't get that anymore. Movies and TV shows are just starved of a meaningful plot anymore. So now we just look at TV as an outlet and not something to enjoy anymore. But with the House Bunny being a colorful aesthetic filled with general insight of college and sorority life makes it more enjoyable on a lighthearted sense of how film used to be before how movies are made now. So Shelley's an adorable wide-eyed sweetheart with a soft-hearted view on life and ends up getting tricked into leaving a Playboy mansion because the red-haired chick, Cassandra, was hating hard on Shelley and afraid of the fact that people liked her and favored Shelley over her. So she made a fake note saying it was from Hugh Hefner kicking her out of the mansion. She literally blew up this girl's life out of jealousy. The craziest thing people do when they haven't done their inner work to heal whatever it is that's bothering them, they will rather project than to seek help. The only reason why Cassandra didn't get caught early on was because that guy that likes cooking foods, Marvin, had a weird kink problem that he allowed to get in the way of plotting against Shelley. Shelley was a sweetheart and wanting nothing but good vibes and great times living at the mansion. Even her cat didn't want to go with her, and then she drove off in that sloppy beat-up car and was literally homeless. It's crazy how she got treated throughout the movie by people, and she was super kind and took it in graceful stride with how people were judging and treating her, in particular because of how she dressed. This is the biggest toxic culture in women, with how they view and size up other women in regards to how they dress, look, and even what her race is. And because so many women don't deal with how much they hate themselves, is what leaves them vulnerable to a chaotic, vicious cycle continuing. So many women want to shame women for not performing femininity and not being the male gaze, even though the movie does center Shelley clearly being the male gaze, because of how the Playboy bunnies are for sexualization of women, because most men who decide to be boys lack on purpose sexual discipline and maturity by choice. The other sorority women were actually intimidated by Shelley's honesty and her actually being herself and not seeking approval of other people in regards to how she decides to be, and that's what makes them weak and boring. Having conforming to what men think the ideal feminine should be instead of them being secured in themselves. They hide behind their insecurities and project judgment so they can feel self-righteous and above people and not hold themselves accountable. They want to make sure that they frame Shelley being oblivious and unaware that she is placed as eye candy while allowing the viewer to see otherwise. But because Shelley is so sweet and unassuming, we gloss over that. And honestly, It's offensive to Shelley, and really, all the Zetas are supposed to be the opposite of what Shelley represents, which is the not like other girls, but secretly want to feel desired and seen, and want what Shelley has, instead of loving themselves fully without the validation of guys who still hasn't grown out of boyhood, because they are emotionally lazy, immature, and irresponsible, and think that college is another version of high school without limits. Carrie Mae was rejected by some insecure, self-deprecating frat guys, but because they are so shallow and sexually insecure, they only consider her when they're drunk, which says a lot about their self-esteem and how they view women. Joanne has been in a body brace for a long time until Shelley's encouragement, but that was her drawback from really living and experiencing life because a limitation she was accepting due to a very poor self-image of herself. Mona was a pick-me, hands down, that wanted to get validated by being the recipe for the quote-unquote not like other girls trope, instead of just accepting femininity for what you are and not being stuck in your insecurities and in your head. And she was the main one that owed Shelley an apology. And Natalie was sweet. She just needs to know who she is and be her own person, and doesn't need to seek a guy's attention to be that. And she found a guy who was one and the same just like her. So Shelley decided to help the Zetas to be the stereotypes of a typical woman that insecure men will pine after, and it does work, but they end up blaming her for the very things they have yet to get over, which are themselves, and how people perceive them, and generally the only one who truly valued Shelley was just Oliver. And he didn't even judge her or mistreat her or sexualize her when he first saw her and how she was dressed. I really did appreciate that about his character, and how he really liked Shelley and spoke to her as the person she is, and liked her right off the bat. And since he was a guy that valued substance and emotional connection, Shelley felt in that because she wasn't used to a man with substance, but was very receptive to him and wanting to be with him. And he was gallant, intelligent, and chivalrous, and emotionally mature and stable. And he pretty much was a walking green flag. And him and Shelley were cute together, and even though they went out on a date and it didn't go well at first, he still paid for the meal. That's an actual man. And even if the woman is in the wrong, you shouldn't have selective courtesy because it didn't benefit you. You set boundaries, hold them accountable, and keep it moving. And it's that simple. And that's exactly what Oliver did. And I like the self-respect he had for himself, and they should show that even more with men in movies and TV shows when they aren't with a woman that's for them. So the Zetas apologize to Shelley, and they make back up with each other, and Shelley decides to continue being a house mother to the Zetas, as well as new members joining them, and they all have their very own self-discovery due to Shelley's influence. What the House Bunny offers is a comical lens of feminine flaws and stereotypes woven into self-acceptance, where you ultimately have a, in this case, woman's versus self-conflict when it comes to facing your biggest fears, which is the rejection of others and self-rejection, and how you carry yourself and respond to how others may perceive you. But that only matters if your mentality is centered around vanity and allowing others to dictate your life and living how others perceive you and treat you. And with Shelley, she was unapologetically herself, marching to the beat of her own drum. And that is so great for her, and that's what I enjoyed about the movie. It was her upbeat disposition and unwavering determination despite the adversity she was given from others, and still gave to those who didn't deserve her. It just showed how genuine Shelley is in a world who was undeserving of her personality, aside from Oliver deserving her. I am so glad you came across my video, and I hope you enjoyed today's content. I appreciate you guys so much for taking a gander on my channel. Feel free to express your thoughts in the comment section below. If you'd like to keep up with any upcoming announcements, news, and posts and entertainment, be sure to check out my blog. The link is in the description box. And if you made it to the end of the video, comment your favorite thing in the world. And remember, without God, we all wouldn't be here. Well, that's all, folks. Have a happy rest of your day. Bye!